I hear music. I guess it's in like the room next door or something. Oh, I see. I see. It's pretty loud, considering I thought we were 2 floors up. Okay, so good morning. For the people that did show up today, yeah, I have some good news. Like, you're going to be rewarded by showing up today. Yeah. So we're going to talk about Coursework 3, Plagiarism, and Artificial Intelligence. Before we start, does anybody have any questions about Courseworks 1, 2, or 3?
I haven't seen the feedback of Coursework 1.
It's on Moodle. So there's a special link on Moodle for feedback to on Coursework 1. So if I scroll up, it says here, Coursework 1 feedback. So if you can't see anything there, see me after class and we'll try to figure out what's going on. But you should be able to see course. Okay, good, good. Any other questions about Courseworks 1, 2, or 3?
I have a question about Coursework 2. Like, if I want to make a video talk about my Coursework 2, but the video is not that good, that it affected the grade.
I mean, I'm scoring the Coursework 2 based on the template and how well you fill out the template. So that's going to be the primary thing. And then there's an assessment criteria for Coursework 2. So if I go to Coursework 2 and then I look down at the assessment criteria, it's here. So you'll see like you're assessed on the visual design, the tools. Okay, that's the tools and attributes, really. That should be attributes. Data attributes. So the tools and the data attributes are described, the visual mappings are described. A unique observation is made. It's non-trivial and could not simply be guessed using prior knowledge or by looking at the raw data. And then the data preparation. So that's how we assess it. So if you think your video helps with these things, then you can submit it. If you think it doesn't help, then you can leave it out. I can tell you that what people struggle with is this one. This is what students struggle with. Yeah, generally speaking. And another thing that students struggle with, so I'm going to go over that a little bit more. It says unique observation right here. Things we can learn from the visualization. From this image, we can see this pattern. Make sure you describe where and how in the imagery your unique observation can be seen. This is another thing that students struggle with. They'll make an observation, but it's not connected to the image that they're generated. They just say, here's a random observation. Yeah. So that is, yeah. Any other, oh, right, there was another common error. Very, very common error. And it says a very common mistake with tree maps, right? And then I even put, you will be penalized minus 20 points for this error. This is so common, right? It's just so common, and that's why I put in, this is a very common error with tree maps, right? A common mistake that students make using a tree map to show non-hierarchical data. Tree maps are a hierarchical data visualization technique. Without a hierarchy, they may be even less effective than a bar chart. However, you can create a hierarchy from your data to visualize. You may look at the following video tutorials for extra help on this topic. It's a very, very common error. Another question?
Suppose we're using some library to create visualization. I've given the code and a video. Do I still need to sort of post the code in a HTML file so that you can play with it, or is that too much?
No, that's not required. Yeah. Any other questions? And a question I got a lot on Wednesday is, what are the videos for? Like, what should I show in the video? And then it says here, showing any animation or user interaction, right? That's what the videos are for. Any form of user input like mouse interaction, user options, keyboard options, filtering, selection, brushing. That's the kind of thing we would see in the video. You can include a link to a YouTube or Vimeo video to demonstrate any interaction or animation similar to Coursework 1. I recommend 2 minutes maximum time. Due to the large volume of submissions, we will not have time to look at and interact with Tableau public software web pages, right? Because that's something that some people submit, but it takes, a lot of time to interact with Tableau public web pages, so we don't have that. I could add a sentence here. You can also use the video to emphasize your unique observation and highlight where in the image this can be seen. So like just taking showing an image and saying, here's the pattern, and like circling it, something like that. What was your comment?
I mean, because from this paragraph,
Yep.
I saw that if my picture is not an animation or user interaction, I don't need to do a video.
That's right. That's
it
right.
won't help.
Yes, exactly. It probably won't have, unless you want to reinforce, like, here's where you need to look to see the observation. But that's not necessary either. That can be done in the PDF. Like in the PDF, you could just put a circle around something. So video is not necessary. Yeah. So that's why it says optional. Yeah. And this is optional as well. Why is, okay. Any other questions? I guess when the class size is small, everybody's less afraid to ask questions, which is kind of nice. And I have, links to extra resources on here, right? Supplementary questions and answers, more questions and answers. Don't forget we had a lecture on visualization. There are supplementary visualization lectures, right? I have Tableau tutorials, more Tableau tutorials if you want to use Tableau. There's a website where you can actually ask questions to visualization experts if you want to get expert advice on anything you create or you have any questions. And you can also contact the authors of the research paper if you have questions. So that's also possible. Okay, so let's talk about today's workshop then. If you do have questions, let me know, like any comments or questions. So this is just a screenshot of the definition of plagiarism from the University of Nottingham. There's a special web page dedicated to this topic. And so we're going to test out the plagiarism tools and all our favorite AI technology as usual, because everybody's completely obsessed with AI, right? So we're going to form groups of 4 to 6. There might only be 2 or 3 groups today. You can choose ChatGPT or any of your favorite AI chatbot. You select one of those tools, and then you ask those tools the following questions, or variations of these questions. They don't have to be exactly these questions. How do you define plagiarism? Can a student use whatever chatbot you're using to write a report for a university assignment? Is using the name of the chatbot that you're using to write a report or essay for a university considered plagiarism? So you're asking these questions to the chatbot itself. How can a teacher detect when the chatbot that was used to write an essay or report? What are the best free online tools to detect plagiarism? So you're asking the chatbot these questions, right, as part of your group. Then, that's part 1. Part 2 is you choose any paper abstract. So you find this, you look at this list of publications. You choose a paper abstract. Then you copy and paste it. And you add your name there, like as if it was your own work. And then you test out one of the free online plagiarism detectors with the abstract you chose. Right, so imagine you have something like Turnitin, right? You submit an abstract with your name, copied and pasted. The abstract is plagiarized. Like the idea is with 100% certainty that what you're doing is plagiarized, right? Because you're copying and pasting someone else's abstract. You're putting your name on it and you turn it in and say, tell me what you got. Like what plagiarism score did I just get, right? And then you add your questions, answers, and plagiarism results to the Google Doc, right? So the Google Doc contains the group member names, the questions and answers with the name of the program you used, and a screenshot of the plagiarism test results. That's part 2. Sound like fun? Anybody curious how this is going to turn out? I'm curious how it's going to turn out. I could tell you like how it turned out last year, but I'm not going to say anything. I'll let you guys discover how it turned out. One other thing, this is why it was good to show up today. This is a little bonus for you for showing up today. Some of you might be looking for jobs in the near future. Maybe you already started looking for jobs. But if you probably will be looking for jobs in the near future, like within the next 3 months or 4 months or something like that. I have a special playlist called Employability and Job Preparation. And it covers the essential skills on looking for a job, preparing for finding a job, and getting a job. So it has things like how to prepare for a job interview, the top errors when writing a CV, right? I see a lot of CVs, no pun intended, and I see the same errors over and over and over and over again. This is an open CV review with a master's student, so they gave me their CV and we went through and reviewed it. Here's another open CV review of a professional, somebody with experience. I've posted my policy on letters of recommendation. I have a policy on those, but my policy is the same as every other academic. Every academic has the same policy. But I'm the only academic that's ever published their policy. But if you ask the other academics, they have the exact same, basically the exact same policy. And then there's more, right? I can click on the link. Another CV review of an advanced CV, right? The secret recipe for an outstanding cover letter. So anybody here, are you good at writing cover letters? So there's a special video there for writing cover letters, and then another open CV review, like where somebody gives me their CV and then we go through it, and I recommend some improvements. And you can see some patterns in there. There are some patterns about this open CV reviews, same mistakes being made over and over again. And I do have plans for more. Like, I would love to do a YouTube video about the job search process, like how to search for a job. That would be a good thing. And I'd love to do a video about the negotiation process, how to negotiate with an employer. That would be a really good one too. Yeah, so someday I will do those. I just don't know exactly when. Yeah, but hopefully this year. But they'll be on this playlist. When I do them, they're going to be on this playlist. So just that alone made today's lecture worth it, I would say. Any questions about job preparation or employability? If you do have questions, you can let me know, like in the future. Right, it's fine. Okay, so let's try this business then, this exercise. Shall we try to form some groups? So maybe you four can be in a group. Maybe you three. 1, 2, 3. If you have any questions, please let me know. Yep, question?
Yeah. Do you have any free online plagiarism detectors? I mean, for AI?
I don't know. I don't have any, but you can try. You can try searching. Like,
because I don't think like currently AI have AI detect.
ask one of these chatbots if they have that. But this is part of the exercise. How can a teacher detect when a chatbot was used to write an essay or report? Right?
There are different versions of LinkedIn. Like for teachers or universities, they can have the AI detect. But for ourselves, we can't use that.
I'm not like an expert on this topic. What the idea behind this workshop is to explore this topic. We're all going to explore it and try to get more educated, like try to learn something by going over the results. I'm not sure. I just know that I can detect it when I read it. That's all I know. But I don't know about the tools very well, and I don't use any of these chatbots. I never use them. I never use them. I have no plans on using them. I still just use Google. When I search for something, I just use Google. I haven't found any personal use for those chatbots yet. But you know what I think a chatbot can be useful for? I think a chatbot can be very useful for CV writing and resume writing. So if you need a professional job description, like you say, I was a waiter at a restaurant, right? You want to have a nice professional description of that job. I think you can ask ChatGPT for a professional description of a waiter, or whatever job it is that you need a professional description of. That's a useful use case scenario, I think, for the chatbots. But having said that, it's not necessary, because those job specifications are already published on web job search websites, right? So if you need a good description of a job, you can adapt one that's existing on job websites like Indeed. You search for the job that you had and you need a professional description of that job, you can use the ones that are posted online already. So, yeah. Anyways, hopefully today we'll learn something. You know, maybe somebody will find a tool that's interesting, or maybe one of the chatbots will tell us like how to detect plagiarism or something like that. I don't know. But so far, the only other use case scenario I've seen is poetry. Like chatbots are good for writing poetry, which is, I don't know. I'm not interested in poetry written by a software program. I don't know about everybody else.
But I think I might enjoy chatbot poetry. I'm actually
As a source of entertainment.
yeah. We can make really funny ones too.
Yeah, I suppose it could be a source of like comedy. Could be. It might help with some creativity. Like, can you give me some ideas on the following subjects? Like, or maybe an interesting exercise would be like, can you tell me what the unsolved problems are in this research area? Something that might be an interest. Maybe I should have that as a workshop next year. That could be an interesting exercise, actually.